So I'm going to do another reading for you guys. Happy Thanksgiving if you're Canadian. Okay, these two. So that was from the Ascended Masters deck. And do a couple from random. This one more. I hope everyone's doing well. Yesterday when I was on the metro at night, there was a guy who was like sitting at the end of the platform, like at the beginning of the platform and stuff, and he looked really sad, and my instincts told me to like stand closer to him and stuff, and I was like in my mind like praying like good energies were surrounding him and like hope and stuff. And then he got on the train and I couldn't really see him like perfectly from where I was, but he got on the train and walked up, and it was clear like he was a young guy, like university age, who I think because of COVID, and I've been seeing this a lot, like guys who very recently like had everything together, you know. And anyway, I knew what change I had in my bag, and I gave him that. And it was a nice moment just connecting with him and sending him, you know, good energy. So I think like if you see a situation, like sometimes you're the person who's supposed to intervene, and if you're in tune with your intuition, like and if you have that kind of mentality of how much spirit cares for everybody, like it's easy to just like break that sort of fourth wall and be of service to people in a way that is comfortable for you and helpful to others. Like sometimes people just need to be acknowledged as a human being, like we're going through a tough time, and some people get put off by like the illusion of like their clothing or their, you know, the appearances and stuff. But like if you see people on a soul level, you not only know what to say to them, you know, you have this sort of peaceful equality about everything that's like a reflection of the true nature of things. So it can be very like peaceful and supportive to be in that mentality, to be able to like operate in the world from a place of higher love, you know. So even if you're not changing absolutely everything for someone, it's like that memory of someone treating you right can be very profound. And like sometimes it only happens like once in a lifetime, and it's something you cherish and remember. Like I know anytime someone was kind to me in a way that wasn't expecting anything in return, like it really resonates for a long time. So I don't know. Anyway, these times are challenging right now with the quarantines and everything, but we collectively maintain like this spirit of unconditional love and awareness that we're all one. It makes it easier to know what to do when everything's like topsy-turvy, you know? Okay. Also, yeah, I mean, and on a practical level, I'll just shuffle that one again. On a practical level, I know like a lot of we carry our currency in cards and stuff, but maybe it's a nice idea just to have like a certain amount of change on you, because it can really make the difference between like eating and not eating for someone. Okay. All right. Just do like 2 more cards, I think. I enjoy these readings too, like because it puts my brain in like a good place, focusing on the right things. All right. So we have where are my glasses? Okay. Just a second. My eyes. Can't see. Okay. We have dissolving light, and we have I surge on the uprising wave of love. Sorry about the light ring there. All right, well, we had this day before yesterday, I think, or recently anyway. So it's still on us to like meditate to generate this like power source within us. We all have it. Sometimes we don't use it. We sometimes like look to the outside for our source of energy, like other cool people, watching a movie, like whatever it is, like where you're kind of borrowing the energy of something else. But it will always make you feel depleted because like you didn't generate it in yourself. So when it's over, it's like, well, what do I do now? Like you're kind of back at zero. But if you take the time to practice meditating and acknowledging like source energy within you, that will grow and you become the battery. You become the inspiration to yourself and others. So do that. And then we have I surge on the uprising wave of love. Just gonna have a peek. Okay, so right now it feels like this period of time is kind of has a case of the drabs, like the things that are manifest out in the world right now are kind of seemingly like unglamorous and like, you know, work a day, kind of like the same old, and not sparkling enough to be like confirming like how awesome the universe is to you. So it's sort of like going down this like cement tunnel. But in doing so, with this awareness inside you, you know, when we get through the other side, it will be, and I feel like it won't be that long to be experiencing like this period, but like the sooner you walk through that with this feeling of connectedness, it'll be fairly short-lived. Like for some people, like a week and a half to 2 weeks, and then for some people, like a month and a week or something, like not that long from now. You'll be right in like the things that you want to experience, but it takes this practice of, okay, like you can go through life just looking at what has been made, like I've said in other videos, and judging like an internet troll, like oh, I don't like that. I like there's a kids in the hall skit. One of these two guys are walking down the road, and there's like a truck with the back open, like behind them, I think, and they're just pointing out stuff like, okay, she shouldn't be with him, like get rid of him, or like, you know, that's the wrong dog for them, or like, you know, they're just like going around critiquing stuff, and the stuff that doesn't work like goes in the truck. So it's like you don't want to go through life just judging what has already been made. Instead, like focus on in your heart of like what you see and feel is possible, like best case scenario stuff. Put your focus on that and affirm and yield to those things and say like, okay, this is what I'm going to bring about, instead of looking around like all the 3D stuff and judging it. Because that's how ideas and new things are born. Like all the people that we revere that are written in history books are not people who went around going like, the house is pretty, or like your business is stupid. Like those aren't why we respect those people. We respect them because they had an inner vision that they brought out into the world. Like it's not that complicated. So it's something we need to do. And we need to keep the faith when things are boring and drab and be the carriers of the light, All right. So sorry, I'm a bit like tired version of like me, whatever. Today, okay. So then we have. I didn't read the poems for those cards, but I don't feel I need to. So we have Emma Tarasu come out of the closet, and Epona with crystals. That's cool. So I feel like when I look at this card, because as opposed to some of the drawings where they seem to be like really like just a bunch of colors and stuff like swooshing into each other, there's so much definition in this depiction, and borders that are carefully made with like gold trimming, and there's like a formality in which she's being represented. So I feel like this is like, you've taken the time to figure out what you want, and then there's a certain degree of like formal presentation of that to the public or to people you want to now. Like it's like, let's say you've always been intuitive and you have a certain amount of skill and all your friends know it and they rely on you for advice and whatever, but then you've decided to like come out and say like, I do this, and you're embodied, like physically representing that in like a confident manner to the public, whether it's like over the web or you're just like changing your style to be like more self-loving and supportive. So it might be like a new attitude, like the 80s song, and you're like stepping out to be like, this is who I am, like deal with it. And then we have crystals. So like there's so much ancient wisdom like in sort of battery form, locked in these the consciousness of like different things like trees and crystals. And because there's like trees and crystals aren't super random, like the consciousness in them brought together certain things necessary to be this shape or have these properties, and they're exclusive. Like a crystal's kind of like someone who's dating, who wants a relationship. It's like, I only want this, like I'm going to be exclusive to whatever material like makes up emeralds or something. Or like a diamond is like, I only want carbon. And I mean, maybe that's why the diamond is a symbol of the purity of and strength of marriage, because there's so much focus and in that, and it's focus that took place over millennia to create this thing. So it's like, that's not someone who wobbles with their intention. It's pretty inspiring. So don't just think of crystals as like cool rocks or whatever. Like think of them as consciousness that are the way they are on purpose, and they take a certain amount of joy in doing this long-term project. So like you can learn from them if you want to be something that sparkles with purity and intensity, like keep your focus, right? No matter what. Okay. And, then we have what is 21? It's like I got these two things against me: tiredness and my eyeballs are not functioning perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Six of Pentacles. Ugh, it's like such a on this deck, such a creepy card, right? All right. I'm trying to picture like Six of Pentacles in another deck. Okay. Well, all right. I think it's all right. I think like in this case, the way I'm reading this card is that like you've tried a bunch of things and you're kind of all keeping them all like she's doing, keeping some attachment to each project, but like then it's like, well, which way am I really going? I can't really move forward because I'm going to be like dragging these mice. And there's a certain self-consciousness about like having an overabundance of something. So it's sort of like a choice card, but also feeling yeah, like guilt over having your fingers in too many pots. Like, so there might be like in this case of like the crystals and stuff, and coming forward with who you truly are. Like the reason you need to do that is because you've been dabbling with like too many choices right now. You've created like, it's like, oh, I want to build this with you and you and you and you. And it's like someone who has maybe a lot of conversations going online, and they every one of them like thinks they're the one, or and then it's like you're going through like a bit of guilt over that, or like you've been caught red-handed or something in that situation. Yep, and this has kind of like come to completion, and you've realized like, okay, this is the world that I made for myself. What is it, and like what do I want to keep in that, or do I want to like move forward and make something else? Because like if you're living in a bubble in this world, like you better be content with what you made, because there's no escaping it. And it's similar kind of like in life, where if you establish a relationship and there's the intention that it's going to last like more than 3 months or whatever, like it's better if you made it like properly and you actually are all in, because otherwise you're going to be like always looking at the glass wall to like, what if, like other people, other situations and stuff. So be very mindful when you're building stuff to have it be what you actually want, instead of like just accepting like what's there and then critiquing it. So you're not like left in this position of juggling different like possible things that could work out, because you don't want to feel trapped. You want to be like enjoying living in this bubble. Like, let's say you were super happy in this home and with whoever else you're sharing it with, and you would almost want to preserve some sort of energetic barrier around it to protect it, that would be paradise. But for someone that like accepted the wrong person or is working on the wrong projects, it can be like a prison. So be very careful about like who you pick, and don't make your personal space like toxic with like too many things going on so that you feel frozen and kind of vain or something, or selfish, you know. Okay. I don't know why I feel like choked up or something. Okay. Then we have, right. Okay, and in keeping with those last two cards, like the Five of Cups is like feeling regret and feeling a bit frozen, a bit like this. Looking at the past, unable to move forward when like there is opportunity still there for something. So like, and also there's like three-party, like there's too many partners, there's too many people in the mix here, and it's creating like regret and like also an inability to see like how to move forward and like what is possible, what's still beautiful, that's right there that you're not seeing. So yeah, by having too many, it's like maybe minimize, clear away like some of the too much options thing, so that you really have a clear vision of what you want to build, so that you're not like constantly measuring like, you know, what happened before, like just being confused. Like instead you could be like focused on just your cup and the other person's cup, instead of like always doing the math over these different energies, and this, and avoiding this kind of like turmoil of too many passions entwined, like, and then because there's too many, like they're kind of burning each other, you know. So if you can like have some focus of what you actually want, and you're not like stressing over like, well, what are they gonna say if I actually say what I want? Like it's kind of like you're responsible for making your life perfect, and maybe sometimes that means saying no to people who are cool. Like, you know, ideally you'd have a choice between like a few cool people or something like that. It doesn't make you a terrible person to know what's right for you and to just be clear about that, so that you're not like burning, everybody's not like burning each other and getting upset and not having a good time when you could be having a good time. All right, and then we have, it makes it sound like people had a good weekend though, because there's like more parties involved. Okay, then we have the Shaman of Discs and the Five of Swords. So the Shaman of Discs is like going on a bit of a vision quest to figure out like where you're gonna go next. Like when you start on this vision quest, when you just get on your horse, as it were, whether it's just like taking a walk for the purpose of just noticing stuff and seeing how it resonates with you and seeing what ideas drop in. In this case, this figure is in the desert. I'm gonna say Arizona, and noticing an eagle and like having a moment with the eagle and being carried by like this the animal kingdom. So it's important for you to like spend that time alone sometimes. Oh, there's a little chihuahua who's mad. Wait just 1 second. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Okay. This is Dr. Disco. I know. We were separated for an hour. So tragic. Okay. So it's important to go inward to know your next step, because like you can't be looking to the outside world of what's already been created to like find that answer. It's like inner guidance. So because maybe right now there's like too many, sorry, the light. So right, there's too many people talking, too many like people's ideas like at odds with each other. But at the same time, don't lose sight of the fact that like when people speak, even if it's seems like it's going against you or against each other, it's forms some kind of perfect message, some kind of shape. So like it's like don't shoot the messenger. Come here. Don't shoot the messenger, because it's like some random person says something crazy to you. You can't just be like, that was so random. Like, I feel so violated by like having been told that, or in that way, that whatever. But like, just back away from your emotional reaction for a minute, and what was the message? Like, what direction are they pushing you in? Was that a messenger from spirit? Like, and how does it all fit together? Like in the case of these swords and stuff. And then you'll know your next step. So sometimes through what appears to be conflict or strife, or like people being disagreeable, there's look for the message. It's like you're not always hanging around eagles, you know, and you're not always walking through arid landscapes. But like when you do encounter the eagle, like what did they say? You know, like I don't know. Like you have to be open. Like for instance, I don't know if I already mentioned this one time, but like I was living in this other apartment, and then this woman who was like, who I had seen had been like violent with another neighbor over them not wanting she didn't want people to know where she lived or something for some reason. Anyway, and like she decided like I had been walking past her place too much, but I hadn't been. There was other girls that like have my same hairstyle, color, whatever. I was just like, what? And anyways, she was very kind of threatening to me. And then instead of freaking out over that, I took it as a message, like, okay, it's time to move. Like she felt the push somehow inside her to tell me the message, like, you don't belong here, in her own way. And then I received that message, like, I shouldn't live here anymore. And so I just that afternoon found another apartment in another neighborhood that I like a lot better. So in a way, she did me a huge favor, and in her own sort of way that maybe wasn't like the most polite way, gave me that message. You know, it might feel kind of sharp and like uncomfortable, or like it might make you feel like trapped or something, but it's like, what is that message? Like, can I see this from a new perspective? Because it's every message is like from God, you know, and it's like you have to have the wisdom to decipher like what the message is instead of getting all up in your head and like trying to turn it into a battle. You have to like overcome that kind of battle mentality and become like I don't know, more like a, let's say like someone who leads battles. Like I'm not a master of war or anything, but like let's say the person who is the leader of the battle would be both a good fighter but also someone who could like see the big picture. So you kind of have to like do that in your life, like whatever you're going through, see the patterns and the big picture in what you're having to go through. And that kind of echoes this other card of getting through some passage in your life, but still intact with that glimmer of light still inside you. All right. I don't know, I'm so out of breath. Maybe I need to talk more. Exercise that. Okay, we also have the 5 of Cups again. I can see people are commenting, but I don't have my glasses on right now, so I can't read that. But I'm happy you're here. So like don't stay in that headspace of looking at the past failures and just being like, oh my God, like what did I do? Like who are these people? Like stop being the critic again and turn around and see like there's love here. Cross that bridge, go live in that castle. Just get over it. You gotta walk. Sometimes you just have to walk away and put these situations in the hands of God and just say like, thank you very much. I don't know, like you know better how to solve this than I do. And I just need to keep on trucking and see what's possible and enjoy my life like it's your obligation. Because then it will lead you to something stable, passionate. Like this is typically the marriage card. So if you can, in some cases, people are gonna like get over their past romantic failures, see that there is something like right there, right now, if they can just turn their attention to it and go have a beautiful life, possibly even getting married or like creating a great business or, starting something solid that's like passionate, which is cool. And then we have this other set of cards. We have the 7 of Cups, the 2 of Wands, and the Hangman upside down in a text message. Okay, so okay, stop doing that. So here we have somebody realizing all their different choices or all the like different motivations within themselves and is a bit like overwhelmed. Just gonna throw on my glasses for a second. And maybe Dr. Disco wants to see better. Okay. All right. So what we got here. This is good. Don't do that. It's like all wet now. Okay. So I kind of feel like in this picture, this guy is a little bit mad at various people that they were like talking to that they formerly appreciated a lot and thought were like beautiful and fascinating and different from each other. And like, therefore it was worth chatting up these various people. But now he's like mad at them saying like, go away. Like, I'm building something now. Like I have vision for what I want. Like I've put my dreams out and I'm calling them forward and I'm in my zone. Yeah, they haven't shown up yet, but I know what I want now because I've spent the time seeing things from another perspective. I've gotten my whatever, like intuition, or like I got my answer. It's been illuminated. Thank you, brain. Yeah, so like the people in these cups who are formerly like being given a lot of compliments or gifts, like financial or attention or like love or whatever, are going to be confused that they're going to be rejected for something that like maybe hasn't been proven yet in the physical. Like, so if this guy's like, but it can be like any gender, but like they're robed in passion in red, and so they're passionate about like refusing these things and or people that they put in a lot of investment into. So the people around this person are going to be like, why are you choosing that? I thought you liked me, or I thought you liked a certain thing. It's like, no, I'm starting fresh from my intuition, from my inner strength, from my connection with spirit. I know what I'm calling in, and I'm waiting at the dock for my ship to come in with this thing, because I trust my like illumination regarding this, because I'm done like juggling or like stressing over gross stress. I'm so done with it that I'm throwing the card away, because I want like something stable with someone that I'm like truly passionate about. Don't skip, right? He's a passionate guy and possessive. Yeah, so long story short, if I can summarize, it's like if you were juggling too much and you don't like what you created with other people, and you're like stressing over having too many people in your life, and it's making you focus on the failures of stuff. It's like you needed to have that like inner counsel and like searching for messages in the world, and also not taking things too hard when you get a message about the direction you're supposed to go into, and keeping the faith and being strong in your presentation to other people. It's like, yeah, maybe I like this, like, maybe I'm this person, deal with it, because consciousness that like stays focused ends up being as beautiful as a ruby, diamond, or emerald over time. And I want that kind of strength and beauty and stability in my life, so that I can have like a beautiful union that's stable. All right, so you have like a bit of work to do in terms of focus and like keeping your inner battery glowing, and don't take all your cues from the outside world. Take your cues from this beautiful bond you have with like God, source energy, like however that beautiful unconditional love power that is you can sense within yourself, that has so much intelligence, guidance, and love for you. If you spend time with it, it will help you in every way. And yeah, I hope you guys have a really good day. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, and hugs from this guy, right? Like a little bit serious. I'm taking for a walk. Okay, have a good day. Thanks for tuning in.